Imagine a small island community, nestled between azure waters and lush green landscapes, where daily life unfolds not under the watchful eye of a government, but through a series of self-executing agreements known as smart contracts. What would happen if every interaction, from trading fish to sharing resources, was governed by these digital agreements? In this imagined society, each resident participates in crafting the foundational rules that shape their lives. The community gathers, not in the town square, but in a virtual forum, where they propose, debate, and finalize contracts that dictate everything from land use to communal celebrations. Here, the essence of governance transforms. It is not about authority, but about shared responsibility and consensus. The beauty of this system lies in its transparency. Each contract is recorded on a distributed ledger, visible to all, ensuring that no one can manipulate the rules for personal gain. Picture the excitement as community members realize they no longer need to rely on a single leader or a council to enforce agreements. Instead, they trust the code itself, a set of rules that executes automatically when conditions are met. But this raises a question: how does the community ensure that these contracts reflect their evolving needs? The answer lies in their commitment to consensus. Before any contract is executed, it undergoes rigorous discussion, allowing for amendments and adaptations. Imagine the collective brainstorming sessions, where voices from all corners of the community are heard. Each member has a stake, each opinion matters, and the resulting contracts are a true reflection of their shared values. Yet, as this society flourishes, challenges emerge. What happens when unforeseen circumstances arise that the contracts cannot address? The strange consequence is that while the community has created a robust framework for governance, they must also grapple with the limitations of their automated systems. How do they balance the efficiency of these contracts with the need for human oversight? And what of those who might feel alienated or unheard in this digital democracy? As we ponder these questions, we begin to see that while smart contracts offer a fascinating alternative to traditional governance, they also invite us to reflect on the very nature of community, trust, and the complexities of human interaction. In this island society, the journey toward a new form of governance is just beginning, and the possibilities are as vast as the ocean that surrounds them. Imagine standing in a vibrant community center, surrounded by your fellow residents, each eager to have their voices heard. Instead of waiting for days or weeks for election results, you know that in mere moments, you will see the outcome of a vote that could determine how community resources are allocated for the year. What if I told you that this immediate clarity is made possible through a smart contract? This digital agreement, a set of code that lives on a blockchain, automatically collects, counts, and verifies each vote cast without the need for a central authority. In this scenario, everyone in the community can participate in the decision-making process, casting their votes on how to allocate funds for local projects, whether it's improving the playground, repairing the community hall, or investing in renewable energy sources. With this system, transparency reigns supreme. Each vote is recorded in an immutable ledger, ensuring that no one can tamper with the results after the fact. You can visualize this as a huge digital scoreboard that updates in real time, showing not only the number of votes for each option, but also the identities of those who voted, if they choose to reveal that information. This allows for a level of accountability that traditional voting methods struggle to achieve. Imagine the empowerment felt by community members as they realize that their participation is not just encouraged, but essential to the very fabric of their governance. Now, consider the efficiency of this automated voting process. There's no need for lengthy counting sessions or the potential for human error. The smart contract executes the counting and announces the results instantaneously. The strange consequence is that this could lead to a more engaged citizenry, as people see firsthand how their input translates into action. They are not just passive recipients of decisions made behind closed doors. They become active participants in shaping their own surroundings. However, it's essential to ponder the implications of such a system. While the immediate results are appealing, what happens when the stakes are high? What if a contentious issue arises, one that divides the community? The efficiency of the smart contract might amplify tensions rather than diffuse them. In this case, could it be possible that, in our quest for automation, we overlook the human nuances that contribute to meaningful dialogue? The balance between technology and human insight becomes critical, as we must ask ourselves, are we ready to trust an automated process to handle our most sensitive decisions? This is the tension that lies at the heart of our inquiry into governance reimagined through smart contracts, as we navigate the fine line between efficiency and empathy in our community interactions. What if conflicts could be resolved automatically based on agreed-upon rules? Imagine two neighbors, Alex and Jamie, who share a communal garden plot. Tensions rise when they disagree over how to allocate the harvest. Alex believes they should split the vegetables evenly, while Jamie thinks they should distribute them based on who tended the garden more. Frustration brews, and a simple disagreement threatens to sour their long-standing friendship. But instead of escalating into a bitter feud, they turn to a smart contract, a digital agreement coded with predefined rules that all parties have previously accepted. This smart contract, sitting on a blockchain, acts as an impartial arbiter. It has been programmed to assess their contributions based on data collected from their gardening activities. Each time they watered, weeded, or harvested, it logged their efforts. When the time comes to divide the harvest, the smart contract automatically calculates their shares based on this data, ensuring fairness without human bias or emotional influence. As they initiate the dispute resolution process, the tension between them begins to ease. The smart contract processes their inputs and outputs a clear distribution of the harvest, a solution that neither of them could argue against. Imagine the relief they both feel when they realize the outcome is determined solely by the agreed-upon rules. The strange consequence is that this automated resolution not only preserves their friendship, but also enhances their trust in the community's governance model. They come to appreciate that their relationship is now safeguarded by technology that removes the subjectivity often inherent in human dispute resolution. But what does this mean for their community? As more residents adopt similar smart contracts for various conflicts, be it over shared resources, noise complaints, or even group projects, the overall atmosphere shifts. Disputes that once spiraled into prolonged arguments are now resolved swiftly, allowing the community to focus on collaboration rather than contention. Yet we must ponder, does this newfound efficiency come at a cost? What happens when the human element is stripped from conflict resolution? Can a society truly thrive if its members rely solely on algorithms to arbitrate their differences? As we explore this case study, we are left grappling with the implications of relying on technology to manage our social interactions. While the smart contract offers a pathway to efficient conflict resolution, it also raises questions about empathy, understanding, and the nuances of human relationships. How do we maintain the delicate balance between automation and the inherent need for human connection in governance? Imagine a community where every resident has a say in how shared resources are distributed. But instead of endless meetings and debates, the process unfolds through a seamless automated system. What would happen if resource allocation could respond to real-time community needs, with no room for human bias? In this scenario, a smart contract is employed to assess various factors: population density, individual resource needs, and even seasonal demands, transforming raw data into equitable solutions. Picture a bustling town meeting where voices are raised in disagreement, each person advocating for their own needs. Now envision that same town, but this time as the meeting concludes, a smart contract is triggered, automatically allocating food, water, and other essentials based on the most current assessments of community needs. This system operates on transparency. All community members can view the algorithms and criteria that dictate the distribution process, fostering trust in the decisions made. No longer does a single person or group hold the reins. Instead, everyone can participate in shaping the rules that govern their resource allocation. But what if a family faces a sudden crisis, say a medical emergency that requires immediate support? With a smart contract in place, the community can respond more dynamically, adjusting the allocation of resources to meet urgent needs, rather than relying on a static distribution model that may fall short in times of crisis. The empowerment of community members through participatory decision-making is a central feature of this system. Instead of feeling marginalized, residents actively engage in defining what fairness looks like. They contribute to the parameters that inform the contract, ensuring that voices from all walks of life are considered. However, this raises important questions. How do we ensure that all community needs are equitably weighed? What mechanisms are in place to prevent the algorithms from favoring certain demographics over others? The beauty of this approach lies in its potential to evolve. As the community grows and changes, so too can the smart contract, adapting to new challenges and ensuring a fair distribution of resources. The challenge, of course, remains the balance between automation and human oversight. While a smart contract can efficiently manage distributions, it may not capture the nuances of human experience. How do we ensure that the needs of the most vulnerable are met without a rigid framework? This delicate interplay between technology and humanity invites us to reconsider our assumptions about governance. In a society driven by smart contracts, we must ask ourselves, can we trust algorithms to reflect our values, or is there an irreplaceable element of human judgment that must be preserved? These questions become paramount as we imagine a future where community resource allocation is both automated and deeply human-centered. Imagine a bustling marketplace in your small community, where every transaction is meticulously governed by an intricate web of smart contracts. The sun casts a warm glow as vendors and shoppers engage in a dance of automated agreements, each fulfilling their roles with precision. But now, suppose that a sudden storm hits, causing the community's supply of fresh produce to dwindle overnight. As panic begins to set in, the smart contract governing resource distribution fails to adapt to this unforeseen circumstance. What would happen next? The rigid rules encoded in the smart contract mean that the distribution remains unchanged, leaving many without adequate food just when they need it most. The strange consequence is that, instead of fostering unity, the lack of flexibility in this automated system leads to frustration and unrest among community members. They start to question, how can a system designed to serve us become a source of distress? This scenario highlights a critical risk of over-automation, when the mechanisms that govern our interactions become too rigid to accommodate the unpredictable nature of human life. The importance of human oversight cannot be overstated. Even as we embrace the efficiency of smart contracts, we must ask ourselves, who bears the responsibility when these automated systems fail? The potential for systemic failures looms large as the community grapples with the consequences of placing too much trust in an unyielding algorithm. These automated systems, while efficient, lack the empathy and understanding that often characterize human decision-making. How do we begin to balance this tension between technological advancement and the nuanced realities of human existence? If we rely solely on smart contracts, what happens to our capacity for compassion, adaptability, and moral judgment? As we delve deeper into this thought experiment, we must confront these ethical dilemmas head-on. The questions we face are not merely technical, but fundamental to our understanding of governance itself. Are we willing to sacrifice the warmth of human interaction for the cold efficiency of automation? In this delicate dance between technology and humanity, we must reflect on the values we hold dear and consider how to weave them into the fabric of our automated systems. The future of our community may depend on it. Can a community truly trust a system that operates without human intervention? Imagine a vibrant small society thriving on the principles of automation, where every agreement is encoded in smart contracts, self-executing agreements that promise efficiency and transparency. As citizens go about their daily lives, they might feel comforted by the knowledge that their interactions are governed by these precise, unyielding codes. Yet lurking beneath this veneer of technological utopia is a profound question. What happens to the fabric of trust when we lean too heavily on machines? Suppose a smart contract, designed to facilitate community resource allocation, faces an unforeseen circumstance, like a sudden influx of new residents due to a natural disaster. The algorithm, programmed with rigid parameters, may not adapt quickly enough to address the increased needs. In this moment, the community must grapple with a stark reality. Can they still rely on a system that lacks the ability to understand nuance? While the smart contract operates flawlessly within its defined scope, it may miss the emotional and social dynamics that bind the community together. As we explore the implications of automated governance, we must confront the delicate balance between trust and technology. Building community trust in these systems requires more than just the promise of efficiency. It demands transparency and accountability. Imagine a scenario where the algorithms behind these smart contracts are completely transparent, allowing community members to scrutinize the logic and data driving their decisions. Would this transparency foster a deeper sense of trust, or would it merely expose the limitations of the technology? Consider the role of human judgment in this tech-driven society. While smart contracts can handle large data sets and execute decisions with precision, they lack the human capacity for empathy and understanding. Suppose a community faces a dilemma regarding resource distribution during a crisis. A smart contract could allocate resources based on cold, hard data. But what if the data fails to capture the urgency of individual needs? In such moments, the community might yearn for the compassionate touch of human oversight. The strange consequence is that while automation streamlines processes, it may inadvertently erode the bonds of trust that are built on personal relationships and shared experiences. In our quest for a tech-driven governance model, we must ask ourselves, how can we weave human values into these automated systems? Can we design smart contracts that not only execute agreements, but also allow for community input and oversight? By fostering dialogue around these systems, we can begin to bridge the gap between the cold logic of technology and the warm complexities of human interaction. The challenge lies in creating a governance model that embraces both the efficiency of automation and the irreplaceable value of human judgment. In this evolving landscape, the stakes are high, and the choices we make now will shape the trustworthiness of our future systems.